So, and this comes from Tony Robbins. He says, change your state, change your story, and change your strategy. So the first thing in changing your state is the ability where it's got to be coming from your emotional state. It's biochemical. It's something within you. It's your body. You've got to change that. For example, if you're excited and happy, your whole stance is up and you're happy. If you're depressed and sad, you're going to find your shoulders are down and you're looking down. So you've got to change your stance. Even in just putting your hands on your hips, that's gonna make a difference. So like, hey, I'm all that and I've got this. So change your state by physically changing your body, by putting your shoulders back, by breathing deeply. You know that when you inhale into your belly, it allows more blood flow, and the blood flow goes to your belly. You know that you feel more full from that. So take the advantage of that, getting full without even eating, just by breathing properly. You know, doing good deep breaths has got so many benefits. So that's also one way to change your state. Breathing in through the nose and breathing out. And when you breathe in, push out your tummy and then blow it all out. I always imagine myself breathing in God's goodness and exhaling stuff that does not serve me, blowing it out. So that's one good way of changing your state. Move. You know, if that means you have to dance to your song, you dance to a song. If that means you have to touch your toes, touch your toes. But changing your state, if you do something long enough, your body, you will change. It'll change. You know, it's me and my happy song. I don't know how many of you know. I know Rhonda knows my happy song, my Pharrell's happy song. I will listen to that and I just plug it straight into my ears and I will start dancing around. And even if I'm feeling miserable or whatever the case is, it changes my state. It just pulls my bootstraps up and I feel so much better. Once I've changed my state, I now have to change my story. So my story, what am I telling myself? You know, if I was feeling miserable, why? What was I telling myself? Like, I can't do this today. I'm not going to find somebody to look after my animals. This is so depressing. That is a story. That is a story that I've been telling myself. And so I have to change that story. You know, and your story might be, I've always been this way. I've always, you know, the wintertime has always been a hard time for me. I'm always sad in the wintertime. You know, I hate the wintertime. You got to change that story. Change what you're telling yourself. It's actually changing your belief. It's not just words. It actually eventually works all the way down to changing what you physically and mentally, emotionally believe. And by doing that, when you can line up with what your story is and you can line it back up to your heart, your spirit man, where God resides, you have got infinite intelligence. You have got love here. You have got peace here. If you can line up all the stuff here with what's actually on the inside of you, your story will change because you will say, yes, I can. I believe that there is a purpose for this, whether it's good, bad, or ugly. You know, and I spoke the other day about, you know, the loom maker making that rug out of all the things. And sometimes we think it's really bad and it's never going to get better, but it's all part of your story. But you've got to change your story by what you're telling yourself. You know, you're limiting your belief system by saying, well, all my family was always big boned. You know, my family was always poor. Those are limiting beliefs. Line up, let your drive and your story line up with what's really who you really are. I am a spirit. I have a soul, which is my mind and my emotions, and I live inside this body, which is temporary. And I really want to look after this body for as long as I can. So changing that story, changing your belief system, looking at it positively. Also, take notice of the role that you play in your story. Are you a victim in your story? Do you feed off of? Are you meeting one of your 6 human needs by being negative and people taking notice of you and feeling sorry for you? Are you meeting a need? Be it incorrectly being met, but you are meeting it. So if you're going, well, you know, when I'm sick, people take notice of me. I want to feel significant. And I feel significant when people look at me because I'm always sick and they want to help me. Well, you got to find out that there's a healthier way of feeling significant. Feeling significant is actually a human need that needs to be filled somehow, positive or negative. Anyway, so you're changing that story, and remember that where your emotion is now in your new story, you know, if you're going to be positive, you're pulling in positive because you're actually becoming a vessel that is allowing what's inside to flow on the outside. I always look at it as a watering can. When you take that watering can and you fill it up with water and you start pouring, you know, the water is just going out through those teeny little holes as you're watering. What if you unscrew that and let it just go through the entire pipe? It flows a lot faster, you know, so it's not just seeping out. So remember that water is like the good stuff and the God stuff within you, and your mind is the filter that you're filtering it through, your story that you're telling yourself, your belief system. Like, I'll never find somebody who's going to look after my animals. And I will. So I'm going to change my story, saying that God has this. There is a plan, and it is a good plan, and it will come to fruition. I need to let it go, relax, and allow it to happen. Once you've changed your story, you change your strategy. In other words, how do you make this happen? You have to have a plan. And I love, you know, I do have some clients and friends that I know that really have a plan to get to where they want to go. They do a yearly plan of, if I achieve something in 1 month, I reward myself with this. That's a strategy, you know, and if it's something that motivates you and it works for you, do that. Find yourself a strategy that works for you. Look for the plan, and everybody's plan is different. There's other people who become rebellious when you tell them, you know, they've got to do something a certain way. They're going, no, I'm not going to do it like that. I want to just go by the seat of my pants. So find a strategy that works for you. You know, when it comes to healthy eating, some people, you know, diets are the worst thing to do. Diets don't work because they have a start and stop date. And during that start and stop date, you go through deprivation. And that's why diets don't work. You see, health it has a start date from when you're born, and then you give up on it when you die. So that's a long period of time. That's health. So instead of saying I'm on a diet, say I'm on a pursuit to be healthy. There's no stop date to that. And in my pursuit to be healthy, there's certain things that I need to do. I might be in a phase where, yes, I do want to lose some pounds because they are hindering me from, you know, having the best blood pressure, from being able to get on and off a horse easily, from having sore knees, or whatever the case is. So, you know, if you find that your weight is hindering you, or your doctor has said you need to, you know, get rid of weight for cholesterol reasons or whatever, then that is a good motivator, you know, to get you going. Then you need a plan, but that's just within your health situation, which is from birth until death. We really want to be healthy. We really want to have that on our side. And if your plan is just for a little period of time to stay eating healthy, but just watching quantity, and in life, the big secret about eating is eat at least 6 times a day. Small little meals, healthy meals, 6 times a day. And then your body can't go into starvation. Or find something that it works for you, that you're able to do. But don't ever say to yourself, I'm not allowed to have something, because most people get into, being rebellious and go, I have to have it, because you're told you're not allowed to. The little kid in us just comes out and wants to be mean. So try that, where you're able to go, okay, this is temporary, but I'm still an adult. I can still decide. Yes, I can eat an ice cream cone, or I can, have a salad. It's my choice. Whatever choice you make, remember that you don't judge yourself. Just do it for that one time and say, I'm just doing this now. And then the next meal doesn't have to be the same thing. Often what happens when people go onto diets or even an eating plan, is they will make a choice that is not towards their goal for one meal. And then they go, well, I've screwed that up, so I may as well just throw the whole baby out with the bathwater. Don't do that. Just don't judge yourself. Just move on. Carry on. It's a life journey forever, So it's like one healthy meal doesn't make you healthy. One unhealthy meal doesn't make you unhealthy. So just remember that. So that's all part of the strategy. Find something that personally works for you, that personally motivates you. Maybe you're a journal person. Journal then. Maybe you're a person who needs a mentor or a coach. Do that then. So find what works for you and go ahead and do that. And I can go more in depth on to strategy as well. But I'm not going to do that right now. Just find something that suits your personality and suits you. And if you need to involve others, please do. Because that becomes, you then have an accountability partner, you have somebody that could walk with you. And always remember, it's a life plan. It's not a start and stop. It's not a diet. Diets have start and stop dates. We are about getting healthy spirit, soul, which is your mind and your emotions, and your body. So that basically is what I wanted to pick up from last week, the last month, is having those 3 things in place: change your state, change your story, and change your strategy. Use a strategy. So don't just be wishy-washy. Have a plan, I spoke about, I think yesterday I spoke about living in the now. I'd done a little funny YouTube thing, or I've done something, but I spoke about how it's important that you enjoy your life right now, because the only time you have is right now. Yesterday is gone, tomorrow's not here. You can only breathe right now. You can't breathe for tomorrow, you can't breathe for yesterday. It's over, it's done. Tomorrow never comes, because you only have right now. So when you're doing right now, don't not have a plan. You still need a plan and a strategy for the future. And I said, where are you living? Are you living in the future? If you are constantly worried about the future, you're trying to live in that future then. You will have stress, worry, and anxiety. If you're living in the past, you're going to have depression. You're going to be a sad person and have depression. So if you find yourself in those emotional states regularly, challenge yourself and say, where am I living? Am I living in the past? Am I living in the future? Or am I living right now? And if you live right now and you can say to yourself, life happens for me and not to me, you can have a good, healthy, positive attitude. And no matter if it's good, bad, or ugly, God uses everything. And that loom maker takes every single thread from our lives and we end up as a beautiful rug. That's just one of my analogies according to Jeremiah 29:11. God has a plan for you, a design for you, and it is a good plan. So that, we're speaking about living in the now, and I said that if you find yourself anxious, it's because you're living in the future and you're trying to sort things out. Well, that was me today. I was living in the future of James and I are going to do a number of vacations, and I'm living in the future going, oh my word, I've got these animals and I've got to find somebody who's going to look after them. I'm anxious because Bonnie's getting old and she's having problems, health problems, and Jazz is on medication. Who am I going to find who's going to tolerate all these little whimsical little things that we have for our animals? And now I'm getting worried. So I'm living in the future, and it's not healthy. What I need to do, and it's good to be able to share, and I was able to share it with a very good friend of mine, and just get some light on the issue. And so to find a plan, a strategy, I had to change my state, change my story, and say, hey, this is going to work out. This will be fine. Even if it's, sometimes I say when I go on vacation, my horses are on vacation. They might not be spoiled like when I'm here, or, my horses, dogs, and cats, but they're on vacation too. And change my strategy and go ahead and find somebody, speak to people, call people. So I'm just fortunate that I spoke to a good friend of mine today, and she had made a recommendation that I will follow up on for someone to help with my animals on the farm here. So anxiety, you need to, if you ask yourself, if you're anxious, here's what you need to say. What if? What if the worst case scenario happened? What if the worst case scenario did happen? And in your mind, just face that fear, So what if the worst case scenario happened? Face that fear, and say, okay. Then you can say, but God will, and have the big picture. Again, go from something that you're looking at, too small, and make it something that is bigger. Let your focus not be on something negative. Rather change your state, change your story, and say, God's got this. Doesn't matter what the outcome is, God's got it. Good, bad, or ugly, God's got it. It's okay. It is well with my soul. He knows exactly what I need, so you can do that. You can hand that over. So that's my little 2 cents on being anxious. Is a sign that you're living in the future and not facing the fears and being realistic. I saw something. I had written something down about where did I see that? I wrote it down. If you're basing your fears on unknown issues, you don't still them by finding facts. For example, I'm scuba diving and I know a shark is going to eat me. You don't go and still that fear by researching and finding out that you're more likely to be killed in a car accident than be killed by a shark. That's not how you calm that fear. You calm that fear by trusting that there is a greater power looking after you and the plan is perfect. So it becomes a personal thing. All right, so I think we are almost out of time, and I want to respect your time and appreciate and love all of you. And also, my big news was I have added to our, so at the moment, the group that you're in is called Ride, Love, and Grow. And that's our adventures and our camping and Dude Ranch stuff, as well as these meetings and other information. And it's actually a subsidiary to my website, which is called Whole Life Wellness with JB, by JB.com. But what I'm adding to that, because I do one-on-one coaching as well, there's a charge to that. Whereas with Love Grow and Love Ride Love Grow, there's no charge to that for me. You're just paying for your own camping and so on. But with the one-on-one coaching, there is a charge. But what I'm adding to that is I've had some clients that I've done this with, and I thought I'm going to make it open to anybody who wants to do it. Coaching on the trail, one-on-one coaching while we're on the trail. And I've actually updated my website. The gal who I'd been doing this with actually gave me a beautiful testimony, a nice story, and it's up on the Facebook under the events and stories page. You can read what she wrote, and just go for a 3 or 4 hour trail ride, and I will coach as we are riding. We can, and most of the time you're just walking. You may do some gating because it's, not just an hour ride, but I will be coaching with you. We'll stand and stop in the river with our horses, and I will coach and mentor. So that, it just, I think just being on a horse's back, and I think just being in nature changes you already and just softens you. So I'm just throwing it out there. Nobody may take this offer up, or somebody will. I don't, and it doesn't matter. I just wanted to make it available because it truly is a beautiful situation. So I thought I'd just let you know on that one. There would be some prerequisites. For example, it's going to be in Tennessee, and you would have your own horse. If you didn't and you were a rider, there's a possibility that I could have a good horse for you, but more likely it would be your horse who's, not going. We don't want to go on a trail ride where we're trying to train a horse. We just want to relax and actually be coaching and mentoring and enjoying the beauty and the nature and receiving in that way. Anyway, that is all that I have for today. So I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, and we shall chat again soon. Love and appreciate you, and just direct message me. Check out the website. If you have any questions, love you guys, and we will chat soon. Thanks, Bye.